Hello, I'm recording this on April 16th, 2025, and that means two things. Poison goes where poison is welcomed, and it's time for the Darkness News Update brought to you by the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors, an organization that just wants exterior lighting to be the best it can be, and it knows the best way to do that is to create lighting professionals that can do that and make the lighting better. It's not about products, it's not about rules, it's about people. It's the difference between a best practice and a one true way. And that is what Nailed is trying to build. You can check out nailed.org in the description if you please. Let's get into the news because Dark Sky International has split their existing fixture certification into 4 different fixture certifications with a new segment for residential lighting, commercial lighting, pathway lighting, and turtle safe lighting. Which is very interesting because a week later, the Design Lights Consortium opened up their draft of the Luna 2 certification for luminaires and fixtures, which includes 3 product designations for turtle safe lighting, new regulations for different amber levels, the similar restrictions on fixtures, as well as regulations that apply to selectable lamps, which is interesting because last week, LEED, the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Group, these are architects and building managers, have boosted their bird safety credits. So get a LEED certification on a building, you have to hit a certain number of points. It starts at 40, and then there's gold, silver, platinum, ultra black, ultraviolet, Vanta black, platinum select, and so forth. But to get a part of that, but it's all based on points, depending on what you do in terms of environmental sustainability and user comfort. But 2 of the things that will get you points now are UV coated glass and limited exterior lighting, which are supposed to both be bird safe options. And all 3 of these things coming together is provoking a lot of thoughts, especially considering the timing and the overlap in certain in certain qualifications. And I think I'm just going to have to gather up the guys on the main show to talk about this. We may have to do another roundtable episode on the main feed because it's all very interesting. It's all very interesting. Moving on to things that do not provoke editorial comment to the same degree, let's start with the University of Basel. They've determined, possibly, based on a very small study, that blue light might not be any worse than any other wavelength of light. A small group of people, 16 college-age people, were exposed to blue light at a dim level before going to sleep, and then yellow light at a brighter level before going to sleep. And the study showed that melatonin didn't really change between those 2 periods, neither did reported tiredness. So again, it may just be a case of the dose making the poison, not necessarily any particular element. We have a new study from Brigham and the Women's Center for Clinical Investigation that of 20 people who were given no natural light and no timekeeping devices, and they found that those that ate during their night period started to show signs of heart risk, which is to say that on the flip side, if you are a shift worker, if you work at night or are active at night, it's better for you, for your health, to restrict your eating to daylight hours. We have a study of Samsung health data that shows that daylight saving time is actually worse for young people. It shows that they're less likely to shift quickly between the 2 periods, which does cause circadian disruption and does result in a number of health hazards. All right, so we have a study showing that early birds just do better in terms of conscientiousness. This is MRI data taken from early risers that shows that they do have a better default mode network, which is about brain connectivity and cognitive function. Now, I'm going to be very quick to say that this is just early bird propaganda, speaking on behalf of all larks, and I've got data to prove it this time, because I have another study that shows that chronotype has been linked with lung function, and that if you can live your life aligned to your circadian clock, you will cycle oxygen better. This is backed up from a study of Tunisian professional volleyball players that shows that well-aligned, well-rested volleyball players were able to not only score better on agility tests, but did better in terms of mood. This comes in contact with 5 different kinesiology departments in the U.S., showing that balanced circadian rhythms and tailored training plans boost sports performance. Meanwhile, circadian disruption is good for parasites. This is a U Cincinnati study that checked on fly mites and found that if you take a fruit fly off of its natural entrainment, the mites in the fly just do better, which is to say that the flies they do poorly. Circadian disruption combined with a high-fat diet is bad for pregnant mice. Study shows that liver, mammary, plasma, and milk functions were all affected by this 1-2 combo, which is a thing that happens if you work night shifts, by the way. You just eat more fat. You do. It's just how it works. A balanced circadian rhythm does balance organ function in female mice. This is another study showing that, in particularly, nuclear receptors in reproductive systems just do better. We have a study from the Max Planck Institute and the University of Granada that shows that light pollution is part of why urban birds are developing brighter plumage. This is a study of 1,200 species, not 12,000, 1,200 species, and that urban birds are less likely to be earth-toned. Some of that is that they are less likely to be preyed upon. Some of that is that bright birds are more likely to, reproduce. But those two things, the combination of lack of predation and the greater amount of light at night, those are working together to change the plumage of birds. Monarch butterfly migration season has begun with Dark Sky International as well as other conservationists calling for lighting controls with the return of the bugs. Chinook salmon migrate by night, and light pollution is hurting that population, specifically riverside lighting on pathways in California that's exposing the salmon to predators. The Audubon Society has done a survey of 43 migratory species and found that, fall migration is deadlier to birds. So the southbound run, the one that's going to happen in 6 months, that's more likely where birds will encounter issues. In Uxbridge, Ontario, Lights Out is gearing up for the spring migration season, with local birders building awareness and collecting pledges on individual action. Utah has declared April as the 5th annual Dark Sky Month. This is the 5th completely non-binding awareness proclamation the state has done. This is because at the end of the month, April 21st to 28th, it's Dark Sky Week, which means there will be local events spread across the U.S. for sure, Canada in parts, Europe in parts, all over the world in some places. You should take a look in your region to see what pops up, but I will say that Florence, Arizona will be hosting events. Idaho Falls is hosting a policy meeting. We have a new Dark Sky initiative gearing up in rural Texas, specifically for protections around the Mount Locke Observatory near Fort Davis. Dr. Michael Byers has condemned satellite proliferation. He's the co-director of the Outer Space Institute, and he presented his thoughts on the hazards of more satellites being in the sky at the High North Dialogue Conference in Norway, which is just in time for Amazon to launch their competitor for SpaceX. This will be providing internet connectivity via low-orbit satellites. They're planning on launching 3,000 of them in the near future. Myriota, a competitor for Amazon in the IoT space, has just launched 4 objects, with more on the way. The Royal Horticultural Society of England has called for limits on garden lighting. They have issued a new statement to UK residents highlighting the harms to pollinators that all-night garden lighting does. St. Paul's Cathedral in London has chosen Dark Sky International approved garden lighting. These are some really nice bollards throughout the exterior of the facility. You can walk around. Keeps light on the ground, nowhere else. Pretty handy. Palo Alto, California is debating lighting ordinances with a new plan that would require new construction and new renovations to cut lighting by 10 p.m. or within 2 hours of end of business. There's still debate going on at City Council. They might make that the norm for all buildings, not just new buildings. We'll see how that goes. In Colorado, Leadville is debating pursuing dark sky status. They are also taking their cues from Aspen. Chattanooga, Tennessee is setting a new sign rules. This is the first review of their sign policy in 25 years, and it has set new guidelines for sign lighting. In Marin County, California, let's talk about a Catholic high school that has been trying to put up lighting for 30 years. The NIMBYs of Ross Valley have been fighting this for a long time, citing particularly the issues of light pollution. We have a new study from the Icahn School of Medicine that indicates that headlights, and by extension, American cars, are just too damn high. The glare issues we experience with headlights, especially LED headlights, may just be related to mounting, and if we had better cars, we might not have this problem. Speaking of things that are very bright and very high, a new company called FreeFly is already planning on shipping a quadcopter drone that will project 300,000 lumens straight down. This is ostensibly for search and rescue purposes, but you can't control what the buyer will do with them, and I don't like the idea of what the buyers will do with them. I've been Scott Wachter. Until next time, take care of yourself. I want to thank Nailed. I want to thank Softlights. I want to thank you. See ya.